There was one time my auntie bawa for pergi JB je tau. Like a whole macam cylinder and like cat. Honestly, I takut meletup.
Halaltrip podcast.
Assalamualaikum and welcome to another episode of Sidetalks. Hey, we're currently at Lukhon Thai, also located dekat Food Fair Pasir Ris. Food Fair Fairground is very hip. I remember when it first opened macam crowded sangat because you had macam gourmet burgers but also in the hawker centre setting, and then you also had seafood shell out in a hawker centre setting as well. But after a while it changed quite a bit lah. But anyways, so we're currently eating Mookata. I'm pretty sure like if you're from Singapore you would know what exactly Mookata is, but if you're not from Singapore, Mookata is basically a Thai style steamboat.
Thai steamboat hot pot, yeah.
Steamboat hot pot. It's like communal eating lah, as what Rauda said just now. So actually Rauda has something to share with us about the
Future travel plans actually.
No, before that, why is there a dome shape?
Right. So I've learned that it's dome shaped because, and then you see like these ridges. It's so that all like the flavor and the juices from the meat flow into your soup, the soup base. So you'll find that at the end of this whole eating experience, your soup is very salty.
Yeah. Also
But
because
that's what
like
makes it good,
evaporated dia punya water.
Yeah, because it keeps evaporating, right? So you have to keep topping it up.
Yep.
Is this your first Mookata experience?
This is actually my second. My first was at City Plaza. It was a bit macam like hectic because I don't know dah lama tak makan steamboat. The last time I had steamboat was at Seoul Garden. So I would say this is my second time. Nurul?
It's my first time for Thai Mookata. Mookata.
Mookata is your hair.
Yeah, but I have had steamboats, Chinese steamboats as well. The ones that DIY kat rumah. So, but I think the ingredients and the items are slightly different, right?
Yeah?
To me lah. Like maybe
Boleh
the
lah.
base itself is different.
But you always find tom yum, I feel.
Yeah.
Tom yum is always like
The base.
one of the options.
I've had a Chinese one. They have like the bird nest, collagen,
Collagen,
thingy.
yeah. I think the place has collagen. It's quite nice. It's like very refreshing.
Ginseng.
So what's our topic on this episode? What are we talking about?
Hold on, it's very hot in my mouth. But anyways, today's episode topic is travel hacks. Now, on this episode, we're gonna share with you macam how to save money when traveling. How to prepare yourself. So for example, macam how to save yourself or rather macam refrain from pickpocketing. For example, actually I have no knowledge on that, but I'm expecting somebody else to say. But all of this is inspired by Rauda's trip that's upcoming. I'm very excited for her because by the time you are watching this, she's gonna be in a camper van on 4 wheels. On 4 wheels overlooking like Great Ocean Road.
Yes. Quite excited.
How macam before we start off macam with the travel hacks, how I don't know how to phrase like how long has it come?
How long has the planning?
Yes,
Correct. I was quite not as advanced as my other trips. I think my other trips I prepared like 3 months. Just because like I want to book tickets and everything early so that you get it at a cheap fare.
Yep.
But this was, I think with COVID and everything, has made me a lot more hesitant to book very early in advance. Just like fear that things are going to get cancelled. So you book this trip like maybe 2 months, 1.5 months before. So our options were very limited. For me, the first thing I need to secure was like the camper van, our hotels, and all the important stuff like we're gonna stay.
For that, let's spam all the chicken on top because kesian Izan tak ada apa-apa kat mana punya plate.
Meat.
Okay, wait. Let us
Give me
spam
a
for him
meatball.
first.
There's this meatball here that's done.
Sekejap Rizana Jangan nangis Okay. Lagi one more. Nobody eats meatball. Okay. Eat again. But at this time, at this point,
Yep.
what are you most worried for?
Because it's our first time driving overseas.
Yeah.
And it's a big car, right? It's a van. So a bit worried about the unexpected. But in my research, it's like you rent a camper van and then you cannot just park anywhere. You have to park in campsites and different kind of campsites. And in campsites are different types of lots. So you have holiday parks and they're like the fancy camper van sites where you have like a pool for the kids, playground. It's like a resort and then but they're for camper vans, but they're also cabins. So if you don't have a van and you just drive a normal car, you can stay in a cabin. But if you have a camper van, you can stay in, you can just book a site, a powered site or an unpowered site. So an unpowered site means you don't have access to like,
Plug
yeah.
power supply.
Yeah, some vans can go unpowered for many days. But sometimes you need to recharge and things lah, so you go for that. And then there are also lots with ensuite bathrooms. So if your camper van doesn't have a toilet, and you don't want to share a toilet with all the other different campers, you get your own toilet at your own lot. So that's an option. So it's a whole learning curve. It's very interesting.
I feel like also macam Australia is, it's just like these places are engineered or like designed to fit camper vans.
Yeah, because like I think like going on these kind of trips is part of their culture.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
during school holidays, sometimes like, you know, families go out to the outback or they go on these sort of trips. It's very common lah.
Yeah.
That's why these places are very equipped for and like there is this website I found that is like Airbnb for camper van
Oh.
or like Airbnb for campsites. It's very cool. So like how you know you wanna book an apartment on Airbnb, got reviews and things, but they're also for campsites. So campsites, they are like the holiday park kinds and they're also privately owned. So for example, you have like a big plot of land that you maintain really well and then you open it up for caravans to just park there. You know, you can also charge them and that sort of sites are listed. So yeah, it's very cool.
Interesting.
Quite excited. I just wanna break from city, which is very unlike me. But I don't know. I just wanna.
I think at some point you want that kind of travel also lah, kan? But then I'm curious, why do you choose Australia? Because like I'm pretty sure you're very much like a Japan kind of person. Like Japan is your hometown kind of thing.
No, Japan's not open.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I mean, it's open for group travel, right? But yeah, Japan's not open yet. Honestly, if Japan was open, I think that would have been where we would have gone. But things happen for a reason lah kan. So
If you go to Japan, tak boleh camper van.
yeah, it'd be a city sort of thing again.
Yeah.
So I think we were thinking about like Korea, but it's also I don't do a lot of walking. I know Korea has got a lot of walking, and I think the procedures to enter Korea is still quite like you still have to take some. It's not as many as before, but we still need to take some PCR tests and sort of stuff. So we wanted to do like a nature kind of thing. So we were torn between New Zealand or Australia. New Zealand is an additional 3 hours on the plane, so we just do Australia.
Okay. Now, our travel hacks.
Travel hacks.
You have some?
Where you start?
Okay, I will start first. These are the things that as a student, I rasa macam like everybody needs to know this because it's so useful. Okay. First of all, is that I don't know about you, but I know some people who don't like layovers. They like to just macam from your direct flight and then you chop curry pop, let's go, you know.
Give me more meats, please.
I always see the beauty in layovers because for long city layovers, some airports they provide free city tours. So for example, do you know that in Singapore, kalau you lay over in Singapore for a certain number of period, you get a free city tour on the Singapore City bus. And that thing is not cheap . Singapore is not cheap when it comes to like tourist attractions. I think like the duck tour itself is around $40, $50. So, yeah. And then one of the things that I really enjoy also before is like when we did a Istanbul layover for about, I think around 10 hours. Macam we arrived in the morning and then at night is our flight. We got a very good tour of the main places, which is like Hagia Sophia. We had we went to the Blue Mosque, etc. And it's like everything covered within that just those 10 hours.
But it's like Amazing Race lah.
Memang. But it's so cute sebab everybody is given like it's like a legit city tour. Macam everybody is given like a earpiece and then they put on and then you have like bandanas.
Bandanas?
Yeah, very cute, very cute. I would show you guys a picture but
Siapa masuk?
it would require me to search for it. So no. So let me just state what are the airports that serve that, okay? So Seoul do that, Tokyo, Taipei, Abu Dhabi, Doha, Istanbul and Salt Lake City. So if you're traveling to those destinations, make sure don't be afraid of layovers because they might actually score you some very good deals. Okay, and then secondly is that I did like very minor research on this, but I'm pretty sure many people have said about macam free admissions into museums on certain periods. Is that right?
I don't know.
Macam
What's
I
the
feel
period?
like in Europe macam let's say if it's winter, the museums are open for free admissions. Tak Okay, I'm probably gonna do some more
If you're
research.
a student, you get a lot of like incentives when you travel lah. Sometimes like museums are free, so that's good.
I remember when we were in the Melbourne Zoo, you just need to show your student pass, and we didn't even prepare our student pass, and then we got free entry into the zoo, which is really good because like at the end of the day, it's like one thing you get to save on as a student. Okay, and then this is something that I baru jumpa. And I feel like everybody needs to know, especially if you're a student. Students fly 10% off on most major airlines. So like Singapore, Emirates, Qatar or whatever, you will find that students fly 10% off, and on top of that, you get extra 10 kg of baggage. And on some other airlines also, you can have the flexibility of changing your flight timings, which is a big cost if you are travelling macam as a normal passenger. So those are my 3 top macam travel hacks that you should know. Yeah. Itulah research I tadi pagi.
That's good to know. On like the entrance tickets part, right? I think it's always important to do your research because I remember when I was a student and traveling in Italy, you know the Colosseum in Rome, entrance to the Colosseum is always very long. So during my research, I found that normally there are a few like heritage sites around. You get a ticket and you go to a few places. I found that if you buy a ticket at a nearby place which has no queue, it can get you to bypass entrance at like Colosseum. Things like that is like save you a lot of time.
So macam like all in one
Yeah, and like you don't have to queue at the long queue at Colosseum. And like some places I found the hard way, like Vatican City, if you want to enter, you need to buy a ticket beforehand. Otherwise, you have to go to a long queue, and sometimes there are no slots available.
And the Istanbul city tour that I was talking about, I remember that it was a really long queue to get inside the Hagia Sophia. But because you are under city tour, we got a fast pass right at the front of
You
the...
have a plane to catch.
No lah. Is it? Because maybe there's a logic. But then like, all I'm saying is that city tours, maybe like, they have more priority kot daripada like normal travellers.
Maybe it's because you're in a tour group.
Yeah.
I feel like this episode I'm just cooking.
I'm sorry.
What are your travel hacks?
I don't have any travel hacks actually.
Okay, but then macam don't you feel like macam like packing ke? I feel
just like
Nurul is
thinking.
so good at packing.
No, I'm not actually.
Really?
What makes you think so?
Macam every time I see her things, like, it's all so neat. Don't you think so?
She's got a bag for her bag.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
for
I
her
have
bag.
multiple pouches for multiple things. So when I do pack for travel, I have it in sections lah. So sometimes it's more of like, if I'm going out, then all my going out clothes is in one packing cube. And then if it's all for like exercise or fitness, then it'll be another packing cube. And then my pajamas is in another packing cube. So sometimes it depends on the situation. If it's going to be a long haul holiday, macam like 10 days ke apa, then it can be like the first 2 days will be one packing cube, 3, 4 is
Love
another
it.
packing cube. So tak payah fikir so much. So before you travel, you actually should prepare
Already
your
decide what to
outfits
wear.
and everything, and then you just go. Don't have to think so much, so you can experience being at the destination instead of having to worry so much of like stuff
Are
like
you
that.
an outfit repeater or are you a one day one outfit?
One day, one outfit kind of person.
Wow.
I mean, it's a holiday.
True. You need pictures, right?
Yes, it's all for the gram. Padahal I don't have Instagram.
For your photo album.
Yes, for my photo album.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't really have that much, I would say. Most of the time, one thing that I do realize that if I do want to travel somewhere, I will always have like someone in mind over there. So I would rather have them bring me around, because then you'll be able to experience the locals' way of living, right? Versus like you going to like touristy attractions. That's my tip lah. I mean, if you don't have any friends or family members living overseas, then perhaps you could just like randomly DM people and see who lends. I don't know whether you two would do it.
A good way to do it is like, there are a lot of like walking tours, like free walking tours in Europe. Like when I was doing those, you meet a lot of people, new people, especially when you travel alone. There are a lot of people who are also traveling alone. That's a good way to connect with people who. And sometimes there was one time like I was going to this walking tour in this city, and I went to the next city, and she was also in the same walking tour. So like you just connect, and sometimes when you stay at the hostels, also, that helps.
Another hack I read is that if you are staying in hostels, or actually, honestly, if you're traveling anywhere with a family or a group of people, or you're gonna be with a group of people, is that always bring a power socket. Sorry, power socket.
Travel adapter.
Not a travel adapter. That one is the macam tukar the plug kan. But this one is like a plug extension.
Oh, I have never brought that in my life.
Why?
It got so much space, so I do that.
I remember bringing it before.
And it's so useful kan. Especially when you have so many devices to charge, and at the same time macam everybody is like fighting over that one socket.
Interesting.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. There was one time my auntie bawa for pergi JB je tau. Like a whole macam cylinder, and like charge. Honestly, I takut meletup je
Macam
lah.
tower kan.
Yeah.
I think I'm quite a good packer when I travel. Something that I have done recently is that, you know, when you go for like longer trips, like maybe somewhere further, then you bring like a big check-in luggage, right?
Yep.
I put my carry-on luggage inside my check-in baggage, so that by the end of the trip I have two.
Kena macam bijak ah. Bijak.
I think it's very smart.
Strategic ah.
So I refuse to buy like a luggage when I'm there.
You have bought a luggage overseas before?
No, because I've always done this hack. So,
Ever seen?
but I have a lot of like, when I travel, I have a lot of like foldable bags that expand by the end of the trip.
Yes, that's useful.
So like I bring a lot of those. So I may be going in with like 2 bags, but I come back with like 5.
That's a lot of
Amazing,
bag.
right?
No, but how do you do that? I mean like, aren't you allowed only like 1 luggage and 1 carry-on?
On the plane but you can check in as many. So on the plane, my luggage and my bag is big Yeah, I mean, like, they don't really check you so much when you're on like an international flight. I think when you're on a budget airlines, then they're a bit more strict.
Are you two the type who will stick to your plan when you travel overseas? Like you have your set itinerary, and would you stick to it?
I have a story. not a story but an experience. Macam okay, like before this we would plan macam A to Z, and then if I don't get something I'll be really disappointed, you know, which it's not a very good thing. And then after that we went to Melbourne macam okay, let's just do nothing ah. We spent like freaking 10 days with like a very basic itinerary. Okay, first day go grocery, the next day do whatever we want. At the end of the day, it didn't feel fulfilling.
How come?
Because it felt like we didn't see the whole of Melbourne. Like we were so focused on just like we were so focused on just relaxing and like experiencing local lifestyle. But there were so many other things that we could have seen as the tourists. So yeah, it's a very difficult balance for me. But at the same time, I also feel like school events or like school trips really macam make me like group travel. Because like I know people like, some people don't like group travel because you have to wait for other people, right? But then I feel like everything is catered for.
It is.
Everything is planned out for you, and most of the time you pay one amount and you get everything, and then you won't get lost. But I guess I understand that it's like all part of the journey and adventure. So I guess it's a mix. Macam like in the future I would do like one day plan and then the other day relax. One day plan, the other day relax. So that.
I mean, I've been overseas, and then we went to this one, wakeboarding, is it? Surfing or dekat Bali, right? And then we made friends with like a couple. And then it's a pity that we had something on. If not, we would have definitely gone along with them to wherever. Because I think that's like fun, because you get to do something with strangers. And then, you know, in the future lah, like what you said, some parts should probably be planned and the other ones just free and easy. Let the day unfold before your eyes.
Like macam I feel like going on macam all these tours is so much better in some ways, because like when you visit a place, you know the history of it. You know like why this, that, why this, why that, why this, why that. Because like, if you don't have that tour guide to guide you, you basically just go there to see, and sometimes macam you don't fully immerse yourself in what's happening.
Right. Oh, but you know, okay, funny thing is that I would actually research on the history of a particular building or attraction, right? And then I go there and I'm like, whoa. So I'm actually imagining the history. So I don't really need a tour guide per se.
The thing that I don't read.
But now there are like those like audio guide tours that you can do, self-guided tours. Those are really good, I think.
But not all places have.
Not all places. So normally like it's in like let's say you go museum or you go to a designated place. I think those are good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like when you go on a tour, you get very like, I get very like restless. I was like, I want to go and do my own thing.
Fidgety lah.
Fidgety.
Macam budak kecil. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I try not to have proper itineraries also, because like I just make sure like, okay, in this place I'm going, there are like maybe 3 places that I really definitely want to check out. Maybe tempat makan or like, I don't know, a shop or something. Then like the rest can just be, you will see where the day brings us, I guess.
One of the things that I've also read on is that macam your credit cards and your debit cards are also one of the biggest key to give you a lot of benefits. Macam sometimes if you are a member of a certain card, you get 50% off something, or like you get 20% off your accommodation. So that's why it's like very important to see what card you are applying to. As I get older, I try to stick to an airline or stick to a.
Oh, so you're a loyal customer lah.
I try to do that to get macam the best of the benefits, but at the same time it's so difficult because like sometimes the prices are higher on this airline.
Why do you try to do that?
Because of the benefits like you can get something like some percentage of accommodation at this other place
Because you're always with the airline.
because you are a member of the airline like that.
Yeah.
And then like your miles, but I understand because macam for now I don't have credit card to macam choose which miles I want to. Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. Macam okay, let's say macam Emirates has miles, right? So if I keep buying from Emirates, then obviously my miles from Emirates will keep increasing and I can redeem it off. But I think the only other way for me to gain miles is like credit cards. But I cannot do that at the moment.
You have what?
No, but a supplementary card doesn't.
You're helping your brother get miles.
Not what I should be doing. Like right now you have credit cards that macam is more towards miles, right?
Yep. But I guess it depends on your lifestyle. If you don't really travel so much, then you can always use the points for something else. Like groceries. But to be honest, to get to the number of points you need for miles, it takes a while. It's not like you spend a few months and you'll get it. Unless you spend a lot.
Yeah. For a moment, you wanted to redeem your miles. Kan, to Japan, something like that.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, pre-pandemic. I was in 2019. I was supposed to go to Japan in November.
But did you go?
No, the pandemic happened. 2020.
But was it postponed?
No, so they I think because of the pandemic, they don't know when borders will reopen.
Yeah.
So they just cancelled and they just refunded the points to me. Yeah.
We were supposed to see each other in Japan, isn't it? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that. Why? You going? You were
Yeah,
going?
I was supposed to go and then we found out that it was supposed the same time frame. And then you were like, no!
You were going for holiday also?
Yeah, I was supposed to.
Oh, now I remember. Oh, lupa.
Yeah, we're having a big fuss. Said, no, I took it first. I
No,
booked the
because we were
flight.
going to be on leave at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a long leave.
And the thing is, right, I asked for permission first and then she said, no, I booked the flight already or something like that. I'm like, wow.
Because she controls it.
Because I apply already. Anyway, I didn't say no lah. Please.
That was the past. This is the present.
Well, nobody could go so.
I can't remember whether we briefly mentioned as well or discussed whether or not you post your social media updates during the trip itself or after.
I feel like that was for a report.
No, I think we discussed this in a previous episode actually, but briefly quote.
Maybe.
You're vaguely familiar. If I'm Rajan, I would do it on the trip because if I come back, I would never do it. I'll just forget where I am.
Honestly, if you see my Instagram, macam you tak nampak langsung any travel photo. Because I've always forgotten about it. And I feel like if I were to post it, at first, there was once when I went to Hong Kong, I posted every single day though. But it only lasted for 2 days. I had 3 more days and I couldn't be bothered.
Tiring.
It's tiring. And one thing I find out, or like one thing that I see myself doing is that I wouldn't post on Instagram because my feed matters, but I would edit it all and then just post it in bulk on Facebook, just so that I can hold some memory of it. And recently I just rediscovered my WordPress on my trip to Mecca with my grandparents, and I was like, oh my god, thank god I had these photos. Like, thank god I had some memory of it. It was nice. I will show you the photos.
That one easy to find.
Easy to find? Not easy to find. I don't even remember what was my WordPress name.
I would do scrapbooking.
You would do scrapbooking.
So when I travel to attractions, sometimes they have like postcards, right? A free, funny looking thing. I would actually collect all of them. Maps also I'll collect. And then tickets I'll collect. Receipts I'll collect. And then when I come back, I'll do a scrapbooking of my experience there. So to me, like, it's more tangible in a way.
You do for me. I have all my stuffs, but it's all in one box.
But you print out the pictures
I will like edit and then select certain few places And then it also helps me to revisit like the history and what I have learned when I'm traveling somewhere else lah. Yeah. It's therapeutic for me in a way.
I realize it's important to document because now if I'm going back, like I'm heading back to Australia, right? I went to Sydney, and I've been to Sydney once many years ago. Then I thought about like, okay, I ate here with my friend before, like I want to eat there again. So I'm like looking back at my Instagram to see where I geotag the location.
I feel it's very tiring to search back all.
I'm saying this in a positive way.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm glad that old me updated my Instagram.
I updated, tapi macam it's so far back, you know. And like,
Fun what to see all like where you went. Oh, I went here. Oh yeah, I went here. I forgot sometimes.
mine is just very deep under so many layers. Alright guys, so we're gonna finish everything here off camera, but we hope that you like this episode and you learn a bit of a little travel hacks, some travel hacks lah from us. We would love to hear your travel hacks if you have any. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this episode. Go ahead and watch our previous episodes if you haven't. Go ahead and visit Lukhon Thai here at
Pasir Ris.
Pasir Ris Food Fair Fairground. But yeah, thank you for watching this episode. Bye bye guys.
Bye.
Alright guys, thanks for listening. So we'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget to give us a shout out on anchor.fm/the Halal Travel Podcast. Your voice message could be featured in our next episode.
Yep, and if you have any advertising and collaboration opportunities, contact us at info@halaltrip.com. That's info@halaltrip.com.
Also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Halaltrip. We're also now on Telegram and TikTok. Until next time, get inspired, go and inspire others.